Once upon a time, there was a little train named Frosty. Frosty was a special train, built for the sole purpose of taking passengers to the North Pole. It was a journey that many people dreamed of taking, but few ever got the chance to experience. Sophie was one of the lucky ones. She had always been fascinated by the North Pole, and the stories of Santa Claus and his reindeer. Once when she was almost asleep, Sophie heard a strange noise coming from outside. She climbed out of bed and went to her window to investigate. To her amazement, she saw the little train, Frosty, sitting on the tracks outside her house. She couldn't believe her eyes. It was as if her wish had come true and the train had come to take her to the North Pole. Without hesitation, Sophie grabbed her coat and ran outside to board the train. As she climbed aboard, she saw that the cabins were decorated with magical lanterns that emitted a soft light and a calming aura. She knew that this was going to be the trip of a lifetime. The train began to move, and Sophie settled into her seat. She watched as the city lights passed by the window and soon they were surrounded by the darkness of the night. She closed her eyes and let herself be lulled by the gentle rocking of the train. As Frosty chugged along the tracks, Sophie settled into her seat and closed her eyes. She was soon lulled to sleep by the gentle rocking of the train and the soft sound of the wheels on the tracks. But she quickly woke up again, her excitement not allowing her to sleep. Sophie decided to count sheep to help her fall asleep, but it quickly got boring. She tried to listen to soothing music, but it didn't work either. She peered out the window, watching as a snowy landscape passed by. She saw tall pine trees, frozen lakes and snow-covered houses, and she longed to explore them. She even imagined herself running through the snow, building snowmen, and having a snowball fight with the other passengers, but still she couldn't fall asleep. As the train journeyed on and the darkness outside set in, Sophie's eyes grew heavy and her mind became increasingly drowsy. She gave up trying to fight her sleep and let her mind wander. She imagined herself soaring among the stars, exploring galaxies and meeting strange and wonderful creatures. She flew through nebulas and danced on comets. She felt free and wild and alive. When she woke up, she found herself in the middle of a winter wonderland. The snow was falling softly from the sky, and the sun was shining brightly. She was surrounded by the most beautiful sights she had ever seen: snow-capped mountains, frozen rivers, and sparkling ice formations. She was filled with a sense of peace and happiness, and she knew that this was the trip of a lifetime. Sophie spent the day exploring and playing in the snow. She even got the chance to meet Santa Claus and his reindeer, and she was thrilled to hear that her letter had reached Santa on time. She also got to visit an ice cave and an igloo, and she was amazed by the beauty of the ice sculptures inside. She took lots of pictures to show to her family and friends when she returned home. As Frosty chugged back to the station, Sophie smiled and talked about the magical journey she had just taken. She knew that she would never forget the little train that had taken her to the North Pole and the special memories she had made there. Frosty the little train had fulfilled its purpose in taking her to a wonderful destination, and Sophie went back home relaxed and happy, but with a longing to return to the North Pole one day. She knew that her memories of this trip would stay with her forever.